Hills 90210, the podcast, where there's going to be actors that write their own movie using the power of Chat GPT. Do I move along into the next paragraph?
I think just up to that part, right?
Yeah.
I guess you could read the next one. Make sure you say 2011 rather than 90210.
Oh,
No, she said 90210.
90210. All right.
I didn't want to bring that up,
Old school. I'm having flashbacks. That's my day.
but the back of
so
90s.
So here?
I mean, like you start from here, and then you stop right here, I guess.
Well, she stopped at ChatGPT. Oh, she
Yeah,
said
she
that
said-
already.
Yeah, I can do it again. I'm dead.
I'll just continue afterward.
You can continue. I'll do it again. You can continue afterwards.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
just
Go ahead.
did it all right,
She
so
feels
stay
bad about
tuned
it.
tomorrow morning live on youtube.com, Anton Pictures for hashtag Beverly Hills 90211, the podcast where a group of actors will write their own movie using the power of Chat GPT.
And then at noon, get your mind blown with the first episode of the podcast.
George Anton at Ryan Hollis. Great that you have created an account with Chat GPT. Just like the regular calculator for numbers, this is a language calculator. And we use it on the show to generate screenplays that we create to get us faster to the final draft. What is the name of your character?
Great. So we're going to be discussing the name of each of our characters, correct?
Or we just, you guys?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we could discuss our own characters.
Yeah.
Or you guys want to just read off what we have here?
I think we should introduce our characters so
Yeah.
that people understand what's going on with them.
Yeah, we could go in circle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll start. My character's name is Evanora, and she is a witch that lost some of her powers, and she is blaming Canelita that took the powers away from her, and she wants her powers back. So that's where we are with my character.
Canelita. So, I am Canelita. My name is Cinnamon Becca McLemore, and I play Canelita. And I chose that name because cinnamon in Spanish is canela. So Canelita is my alter ego there, and I think Canelita has 2 or 3 alter egos. And she enjoys power and manipulation, and I feel like she's going just to be a very interesting character to play. I'm very excited. She's an Irish gypsy.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. So this is Gagan. I'm gonna be playing for the part for professional gamer, and everybody already know that. We were just talking about professional gamer the other day. I've been on like 2 different podcasts. I'm pretty sure like everybody already knows what character I'm playing, but it is one of the characters that is really dear to me because I personally love gaming my own self as well. I sort of related myself with this character. As soon as I saw the script, I'm like, that's me.
Nice.
I didn't want anybody else to take it because I was like, okay, because that is somehow I could relate it to myself. And I'm a gamer. I go on Twitch. I do YouTube videos and do all that stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and do it, and it's something that I could relate myself to. And I came up with a great script coming into the copier shop, and I don't want to get into a lot of details because it's just gonna blow up the whole picture.
So you're a professional gamer with a handle and everything,
yeah,
like a professional game
it is
handle
like
and
professional gamer with YouTube and all that. You know, I'm like, oh, well,
awesome.
you know, like I was like, let me go ahead and so like this. So like I'm just gonna get to like a little preview of the scene. I walk into a print shop. I freak out looking at a robot, and I just stop there.
Yeah.
Doesn't your
Right.
character have a gun?
Interesting.
That too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll remember that. All right. Hi, y'all. My name is Ryan. I haven't met you guys, but I'm Ryan. I'm playing Davin Duvernay. We don't have a script yet for that one, but I'm a real estate agent. who deals with properties from other galaxies.
Nice.
And
like it.
yeah, and part-time I'm also a professional fortune cookie writer. So I write
Nice.
That was from the first,
Oh.
that's like,
first episode that we were talking about the portrait.
I want to keep
Nice.
that. I'm keeping that. But the backstory on Davin is, with the backstory I created was, I know Geppetto because I was in his high school physics class. He was a high school physics teacher before he retired and opened up the print shop.
Right.
And so,
I like it.
yeah, and so I've been using his print shop ever since I became a real estate agent. I work at a virtual brokerage. And at some point, I'm eventually end up hiding Steve to protect Steve, the robot, from the people that are trying to
Nice.
mess with him and bring that print shop. And yeah,
Yeah,
That's
so
all I
you're
got
the
so
good
far.
guy. You're
yeah, I'm one of the good
guy.
guys.
What
Nice.
What happened to that zombie idea that you walk into a real estate place and then it's like you just go into like walking into the different properties and then zombies just come out of nowhere.
That was the homie's idea. What's his name? Sinner.
Yeah.
sinners.
That was his idea.
I used to be a realtor, and that really happens sometimes.
Nice, nice. Alrighty.
Excellent. So we're going to be starting from the top of the story again?
Let's do it.
Discuss?
Let's
Okay.
do it.
So, interior
see
print
that.
shop day, is that where we're all at?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Hold on. Which one are we doing now first?
So I think we're going to be here, interior print shop day.
Okay, we got it.
Yeah.
So who's gonna be? Oh, okay. Got it.
So,
Well, somebody needs to be Geppetto.
oh, I know. Maybe a male.
Do you want to be Geppetto or should I?
Sure.
Okay. And I guess I'll be Steve.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
Canelita will be Canelita and Evanora will be Evanora.
Evan. All right. So Steve,
Thank you.
Geppetto. All right. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean to touch it. All right.
All right, here we go. And let's do it.
Are we reading the stage directions or just the dialogue?
Just
I
the
think
dialogue.
the dialogue?
Just the dialogue?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I have a unique request. I want to create a life-sized robot unlike anything anyone has ever seen before.
Tell me more.
And we go to the next thing.
So I think we should explain like what's happening so we can tell the audience like what's going to be happening.
Okay, I could read because my lines is just like way down.
Yeah,
there.
you could read the
Yeah,
descriptions, 'cause they're not gonna
the
be-
narration
yeah.
and all that out because mine is all the way down there. Mine I'm spelling Steve and it's all the way down. Next page. All right. So, anyways, so you guys want to start again?
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's start again, but let's also I think we should describe
All right.
because if they just hear the
All
line,
right, we
they're not
are
gonna- yeah.
we are in a print shop day.
Mhm.
Geppetto is a middle-aged print shop owner. Approaches Canalita, a gypsy with a reputation for her magical abilities.
I have a unique request. I want to create a life-sized robot unlike anything anyone has ever seen before.
Tell me more.
Geppetto explains his plan to Canalita, who agrees to help. Interior print shop. Weeks later, Geppetto watches in amazement as Canalita uses her magic to create Steve, the boy robot. Interior shop, daytime. Evanora, a beautiful but ominous young woman, enter the print shop.
You don't belong here, Canelita. You're nothing but a magic power thief.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never stolen anyone's powers.
You stole my power to create Steve. I want my power back, and I won't leave until I have it.
Geppetto is stunned by the revelation.
I had no idea that Canalita used someone else's power to create Steve.
Steve is impressed by Evanora's threat. You're not getting anywhere from us. We don't owe you anything. Tension fills the room. Canalita knows Evanora is dangerous and needs to act fast.
We won't back down from a challenge.
Evanora tries to break through the force field, but it is impenetrable. Print shop later. Anna, Avenora, and Canita faces off.
You don't know who you're dealing with.
Neither do you.
The two women stares each other's down. Interior print shop later. Steve comes up with a plan. I can use my ability to create forces field around us. It will keep Anavora out and give us time to figure out what to do. Carlita is impressed by Steve's plan.
Do it.
Steve concentrates and a bright light emanates from his body. It envelopes the entire print shop and creates a protective barrier around them. And Avenora is furious.
You haven't heard the last of me.
The tension in the room has dissipated.
Dissipated, yeah.
Thank you for your help.
It was me pleasure.
Alright, and we fade out.
Nice. So that's the end of that scene, right?
Yeah. Oh, there's more?
Oh, there's
more.
more.
There's more. There's more in the back.
Where? Oh, in the back.
Yeah, there's more in the back. Alright,
Oh,
print shop day. So now this scene is between Davin, Canalita, and Geppetto.
Oh, this is the old storyline that we're not using, though.
We're not using this one?
This is the Mormon storyline. Do you want, I mean, I guess we could read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me go ahead and read it.
So, who's playing Davin?
I am.
Who's one of Canita will play Canita, and Geppetto? I'll play Geppetto. You guys want me to play Geppetto?
Yeah, you'll.
And you want to do the narration part thing?
Oh, I could do the narration
Okay.
part, yeah.
Okay.
So we're at the exterior print shop day.
I can't see it.
Yeah.
This is an alternative for the story. David Duvernay, a young man from a Mormon family, approaches the print shop with hesitation. He stops outside and looks through the window, seeing the psychic, Canalita, and Geppetto inside. He takes a deep breath and enters the shop.
I hope they can help me.
Canalita and Geppetto look up as Devin enters the shop.
Welcome, my friend. What brings you here?
I'm looking for answers. I don't believe in technology, but I feel like there's something here that I need to see.
Geppetto looks at Devin with curiosity.
What do you mean you don't believe in technology?
Look, I come from a Mormon family, and we live off the land and don't use anything that isn't natural. But something led me here.
Canalita looks at Devin with a knowing expression.
Sometimes the things we need to see are not what we expect.
Just then, Steve creates a force field around the shop, surprising Devin.
Davin.
Davin.
All good. What's happening?
Steve is creating a protective barrier.
It's one of his many abilities.
Davin watches in amazement as the force field surrounds the shop. He realizes that maybe there's more technology than he originally thought.
Maybe there is something to this after all.
Canalita and Geppetto smile at Davin, knowing that he has taken the first step towards understanding the world around him. Fade out.
I just think like if it's a, if we keep that scene and like a black person or a person of color plays it, it's gonna be a comedy. Like it's gonna be like a
dark.
it's gonna be a comedy sketch.
That's funny.
Nobody gonna take that seriously. They're
But
like,
I mean, I'll do it because I'll do it. But hey,
That's funny.
it's a whole different movie.
Okay, so let's move on. We're moving on to which scene?
you guys want to do copy a shop?
Okay, copier shop.
Your shop it is.
This one, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, let's
That's
do it.
So I'm playing. So this is the character. All right, I guess like we just gonna give it out. That's like the Matt Jackson is the gamer, the professional.
So you're Jackson, correct?
Yeah, no
And-
more secrets.
No more
And Steve
secrets.
the
now.
robot. Who you can play Steve the robot, right?
Yes.
I'll read the
Geppetto?
descriptions.
So
And
and
who's Geppetto?
And Geppetto could be you, right?
You could be
You
Geppetto?
want me to? Okay, I'll be
Alright.
Geppetto.
And you'll be the narrator.
I'll be the narrator.
Oh.
Okay, interior copier shop. Professional gamer Matt Jackson enters the printer shop with a controller on one hand and a some game case on the other, and the headphones around his neck.
Hello. I'm in need of make a strategy guide for all of these games. I need some help making copies of this. Can you help me?
Steve the robot turns around as he jumbles some papers into the copy machines and talks back with this robotic machine voice.
Yes. Over here, I will help. How many copies did you need? Black, white, or color?
Matt looks at Steve very surprisingly and scared at the same time, like he saw a ghost. Never seems a robot talking in his life. His face confused, looking back and forth at his game cases and the robot.
Oh my gosh, am I in a video game or is this reality? Are you wearing a costume or is that real
Have
real
some
life
sense.
robot?
Have some sense. He is my son.
Matt Jackson, confused, looking back and forth at Geppetto, and the robot shockingly says,
Son? How a robot can be your son?
I created him with a machine and technology. His name is Steve.
Matt Jackson acknowledged and frightened at the same time. Hence, Steve the game case is confused.
Okay, I guess I'll need 50 black and white copies and 10 color of this, Steve.
Steve takes the game cases from Matt and gets to work. Matt Jackson, meanwhile, walks around the print shop confused, wondering all the thoughts from his gaming life. How could this be real? Matt Jackson pulls out his phone and goes to Google search about this robot, and wanted to call the cops. But as he pulls the phone out of his pocket and opens up the phone app, Steve the robot walks up with the job done and talks with this robotic voice. And Matt Jackson quickly closes the app, shuts his phone down, and puts the phone back into his pocket. Steve with his robotic voice.
Okay, here. You are all done. That is going to be $50. Please pay at the front, and here are your game cases.
Like Steve, my son said, it is going to be $50. Cash your card.
Going to be card, and here you go, and keep the change for your son.
Okay. And the fourth page is just descriptions, right?
Yeah, it's just description. So basically, so what happens is it's like Matt Jackson still confused, making Steve suspicious about the whole situation. They basically have a little stare down thing at the front door. As Matt walks out, and Steve standing right here, and Steve is like basically getting confused. This guy is gonna jeopardize his shop and his business. So as Matt Jackson walks out of the print shop, he's holding the door. The Steve is holding the door, and he lets out a beam of light on his forehead, and that beam of light basically makes Matt Jackson, the professional gamer, forget about the whole situation within what just happened, because
Okay.
obviously he don't want to go out and spread the word and start calling cops and cause issues with his
I see,
copier
cool.
shop.
So he's kinda-
So it's like the Men in Black thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
He walks out, and then about the little gun shoot thing, I haven't gotten to the part yet because I was like, I want to implement that within the script where he pulls out a gun and starts shooting the robot, but I'm not sure if I want to get to that because I don't want to abuse the robot yet. Maybe later on.
Maybe later.
Maybe later.
Gotcha.
So that's what that is. Okay.
Okay. So do we move on
Next.
to the print shop day?
Yeah, we could do that one.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I could.
Am
do
I
that.
on?
Is it
Okay.
Devon or Devon?
That's a different character. I didn't create that one.
Yeah, I didn't create
That I don't know who came up with that one.
Okay, well, I'll read for Evanora. And I could read the instructions.
Wait, which one is this?
This is the print shop day. Fade in. Geppetto is tinkering away at his latest project.
So I'm.
I don't have.
Which one?
I don't think I have that. Oh yeah, here it is. Oh yeah, Devin. I didn't create that character. I don't know. Who do you want to read? Oh, you're Jackson. I'll read Devin.
Okay.
I don't have that one either.
And Canelita's in there too, so
Okay.
you're in the second page.
So
Okay,
I'll-
so
I'll play Jackson, of course.
okay. All right, here we go. So we're in an interior print shop day again. Geppetto is tinkering away at his latest project, a small robot named Steve. Canelita and Evanora are helping him sort through some paperwork. Okay. Suddenly, a bright light fills the room and the portal opens up in the middle of the shop.
What the?
From the portal emerges Jackson, a tall and mysterious figure dressed in strange clothes.
Whoa. Who are you?
Hello there, my name is Jackson. I come from a different reality.
What? How is that even possible?
Jackson proceeds to explain to Devon, Geppetto, Canelita, and Evanora about the world that he's come from. He reveals that it's actually Steve's planet, but they don't know that yet. As the group listens intently, Devon is completely mesmerized by Jackson's stories.
This is unbelievable. I never thought I would witness anything like this.
So, what brings you here, Jackson?
I came to speak out Steve. He's an important part of our mission.
Wait a minute. Steve, that's my robot.
As the group starts to make sense of this unexpected arrival, Jackson's true purpose slowly begins to reveal itself. And we fade out. Okay. I think following from that one, we can do story continues, example, prompt, and screenplay answer, Jackson, since we just introduced that character. Oh no, we just read this one.
Yeah, we just read
Yeah,
that.
why do I have a second page of that? It's so weird.
I already have this one.
Okay, so we can either do exterior city street day. I think this is the one I came up with. Or we could do Canelita, split personality.
We could do Canada's personality. You guys want to do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's see.
So Canelita has a split personality after the loss of a family in a car wreck, and anytime there's stress in her life, she retreats to an apartment in Fountain Avenue. You're now a professional Hollywood screenplay writer. Write me the scene in this. Okay, sorry. Fade in. Interior print shop day. Canelita sits at the front desk of a print shop, looking nervous and agitated. Her eyes dart around the room, as if searching for something. Suddenly, she stands up and makes a beeline for the door.
Canelita, where are you going?
Canelita doesn't answer and instead bursts through the door and runs down the street. Cut to interior apartment of the Fountain Avenue day. Canelita enters the apartment looking relieved to be there. She takes a deep breath and looks around the room. Suddenly, her expression changes. She seems to be talking to someone when no one is there.
Why did you have to leave us? Why did you have to go?
She paces around the room, muttering to herself.
I know. It's not your fault. It was just a terrible accident, but it's so hard without you.
She sits down on the couch and begins to cry. Suddenly, there's a knock at the door.
Canelita, are you okay?
Canelita jumps up and wipes her tears away. She composes herself and opens the door.
Yeah, I'm fine. Just needed a little time alone.
Are you sure? Do you need anything?
No, I'm good. Thanks for checking on me.
Geppetto nods and leaves. Canelita sits back down on the couch looking exhausted. Fade out. Okay, the scene continues with Canalita when she practices fortune telling and becomes an Irish gypsy personality to deal with stress and cope with life circumstances. Do me another screen, please. Fade in. Interior print shop day. Canalita is sitting in the back of the print shop surrounded by candles, crystals, and tarot cards. She looks confused and intense as she shuffles the cards. Suddenly, her expression changes. Her eyes widen and her voice takes on an Irish accent.
I see. A great deal of turmoil in your future. You are facing many challenges, but you must stay strong.
Geppetto enters the room looking confused.
Oh, my bad. You want to read it?
Oh, no, you go ahead.
Carnalita, what's going on?
Oi, Geppetto. I was just reading it to a client. They needed guidance, and I was happy to provide it.
Geppetto looks skeptical but doesn't say anything.
Sorry about that. I just needed to escape a little while.
Are you okay, Carnalita? You've been acting strange lately.
I'm fine. I've been going through a lot lately.
I know, Carnalita. Losing your family in that accident was terrible. But you don't need to resort to this fortune-telling nonsense.
It's not nonsense, Geppetto. It's a way for me to cope, and it's none of your business anyway.
Geppetto looks taken aback but doesn't say anything.
I'm sorry, Geppetto. I appreciate your concern. But I need to deal with things in my own way.
Geppetto nods understandingly and leaves. Canalita looks down at the terrace cards, deep in thought. Fade out. Okay, now we're going to be fading in into another scene, Exterior Forest Lawn Cemetery. We're at a cemetery now.
You want to be Steve?
No, obviously.
Canalita is lying on a blanket underneath a tree, looking at the stars. Steve is sitting next to her, holding a microphone and looking intrigued.
So, you used to be a famous actress in Ireland?
Yes, that was a lifetime ago.
And you came all the way to America to start a new life.
I had to. Things got complicated back home.
Steve nods, sensing there's more to the story.
And you've been sleeping in a cemetery?
It's not so bad. I like the peace and quiet.
Well, how do you make a living?
I tell fortunes, of course.
Steve looks surprised.
Fortunes? Like you are a fortune teller?
I've always had a gift for seeing things that others can't. It's helped me to survive.
Steve nods, still holding the microphone.
Do you mind if I record some of this? I think our listeners will be fascinated by your story.
Of course not, Steve. Anything to spread the word.
Steve hits the record button and leans in closer.
Okay, let's start from the beginning.
Fade out. Fade in. Interior print shop day. So they're back at the print shop. Canalita is sitting at the counter, looking nervous. Evanora enters the room and approaches her. Evanora sympathetically. Hey, Canalita. You look like you're about to jump out of your skin. What's going on?
I can't really say.
Can't say? What do you mean?
I'm undercover.
Evora looked surprised.
Undercover? For what?
The IRS, I'm here to bring down Geppetto's father and brother for their involvement in some criminal activity.
And Evora looked shocked.
What kind of criminal activity?
I can't say too much, but let's just say they've been cooking the books.
And Evora nods, still looking stunned.
Whoa, I had no idea.
It's not something I like to talk about, but I wanted you to know in case something goes wrong.
I understand. If you need anything at all, just let me know.
Canalita smiles gratefully.
Thanks, Evanora. I appreciate it.
The two women shares a moment of understanding before returning to their work. Fade out.
Okay, we're done with that scene. I think I only have one more, and I think it's the one I have kind of played around with. I think it says Exterior City Street Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it has
this one.
Evanora,
Yeah, I don't have
Canelita,
that
Geppetto.
No, we have a couple of copies out there somewhere.
Okay, so I will be playing Evanora, her Canelita, Geppetto. Geppetto is Geppetto. And do we have another character? Oh, and Steve, and you'll be playing Steve.
Okay.
Okay,
So
here we
you're
go.
playing Geppetto, I'm playing Steve.
Evanora, I like
Yep.
that name.
Yeah, I googled it yesterday. I'm dead. Okay, so Exterior City Street Day. Canelita, Geppetto, and Steve are walking down the street in thought when suddenly Evanora flies overhead on a broomstick, startling them. Canelita jumps back in surprise, and Geppetto grabs onto Steve protectively. Evanora. Hello again, Canelita.
What do you want, Evanora?
You know what I want.
I already told you I didn't take your power.
Hold on. You know what I want. I want my power back.
I already told you I didn't take your power.
Don't lie to me, Canelita. I know you used my power to create that boy robot. Geppetto steps forward, his anger rising.
How dare you accuse us of stealing your power? We don't even know you.
Oh, you'll know me soon enough. She
Wait,
waits.
there has to be another way to resolve this.
Fenora narrows her eyes surprisingly. What are you suggesting?
We could try to find a way to help you regain your power without resorting to violence.
Fenora seems to consider this for a moment, then smirks. And why would you do that?
Because it's the right thing to do. We don't want to fight with you, Evanora. We just want to live our lives in peace.
Evanora looks at Canelita warily, then lowers her hand. Very well, but don't you think for a moment I will trust you? Canelita nods, relieved.
We'll do whatever we can do to help you.
Evanora glares at them for a moment longer, then turns on her broomstick and flies away. Geppetto and Steve let out a sigh of relief.
That was too close.
We have to be careful. Evanora won't give up easily.
Maybe we could create a potion or spell to help her regain his powers.
Regain her power. Canelita looks at Steve with admiration. That's I think it's yours, Canelita.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, because they didn't
Where
staple
would that
yours.
arrange it? Oh, okay. They didn't.
So,
Okay,
yeah,
there's
so
some more on the
that's-
back. Got
yeah.
it. Thank you. Thank you for that, Evanora. That's a great idea, Steve. We'll have to do some research and experimentation, but it's definitely worth a try.
Geppetto smiles, feeling optimistic for the first time in a while.
Maybe this could be the start of a new understanding between us.
Canelita nods. Her eyes are filled with determination.
We'll do whatever it takes to make it happen.
Not give up so easily, and she needed to find a way to protect Steve and herself from her wrath.
Should I read that?
Yeah, Geppetto.
What is going on here? Why
Yeah, I don't know. It's
I think
just
let's skip that.
Looks like
I
some
think
side notes.
there's like. No,
And-
I think this is part of a scene.
It is
but
part of a scene, but it's not really.
It's not really in the format
in
of a
the format.
script.
Yeah. I'll just go to the next part.
Okay, so the next one I kind of put in
The Black Mountain Days.
the Black Mountains. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the camera pans over the dark and ominous Black Mountains as a powerful wind howls in the background. Exterior, Evanora's house day. So Evanora's house is a rundown shack made of rotten wood and old stones. The camera zooms in the front door and we see Evanora approach. She unlocks the door with a rusty key and steps in. So, yeah, so there was actually that scene before that kind of follows Evanora's house.
Mm-hmm.
So when they go back and they say they're going to help her get her powers back, it's through a potion.
So like that's what's going on right now.
So that's what's going on with the part that we skipped.
We're scared. Okay.
So you guys create a potion for her, and then Evanora takes the potion with her. She doesn't drink it in front of them. And she takes off in her broom, and she goes to her home. That's where we are, Evanora's house.
So that's what's going on with this Evanora house day at the last
Yes.
page. She's just talking to herself.
She's
and-
talking to herself, yeah. So so she enters her home. The cameras reveal a dark and creepy interior. The walls are covered in cobwebs, and the floor is littered with debris. Rats scurry around her feet, and she pays them no attention. Evanora walks over to the table in the center of the room, and the camera follows her. On the table is a small vial containing a red liquid. Evanora picks up the vial and studies it suspiciously. To herself. What are they up to? Poison! They're trying to kill me! Evanora slams the vial down on the table, and the camera zooms in on her angry face. They'll pay for this. Evanora storms out of the room, slamming the door behind her, and the camera pounds over the creepy interior of her home once more before fading to black. Okay, so that's all we have.
Ooh, Canalita must have mixed a potion.
Yeah.
Love it.
It makes me curious about the relationship between Evanora and Carmelita.
They don't like one another. They're both.
I'm like-
end up being a witch. I think.
Right? Like, why are they always around each other, but they don't like each other?
Yeah, so I
would love to see a magical fight between them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a power struggle. It's kind of like the Batman has to have Joker, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
One would not exist without the other. You have to have that
Gypsy and
arch
the witch.
nemesis. Yeah.
So I like it. I think it'd be cool, obviously, if it starts at the print shop and you're trying to do the robot first.
Yeah.
Then the robot is created, and then the gamer comes in and he's trying to do his thing.
Yeah.
We got magical potion on one side.
Yeah.
We got two witches fighting one
Yeah.
another.
I'm
we
not
got professional
sure.
gamer.
I'm not exactly sure how the connection of me talking to you in that scene where I'm talking to you nicely,
Right.
because it's like I'm accusing you of taking my powers. I don't know how I would
Right.
jump and be all normal now in the shop. I think my character just kind of pops in and does
Yeah.
something like crazy, and then she leaves. She constantly just comes in and
Right.
leaves. And you guys are constantly like running away from me, like she's the witch,
Yeah.
and I take off in the broom, always.
Okay.
And you guys, I think those characters are constantly trying to come up, like, God, she's gonna come back now. We gotta come up
Right.
with another solution.
It reminds me of Glendora from Bewitched. She was
Yeah.
very mischievous. She would show up and appear, and she enjoyed kind of wreaking havoc. But they all knew her.
That was
and
the mom,
Yeah,
right?
that was the mom that just
remember.
appeared, and they all knew her and kind of just had to deal with her.
Yeah.
You know, she was just a part of their lives.
Yeah. So then after this, I think it's about what would be the next thing, the next plan for when I come back. So obviously
Okay.
the poison didn't work.
Yeah.
So that's what we need to think about.
Evanora is stronger than Canalita's potion. You know, she's used to.
It was interesting, like, the different scenes between you two. Like, one scene made Evanora seem like a villain. Another scene made Carmelita seem like a villain. So I'm like, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy?
Yeah.
Or does it, like, switch? Or, like...
Kind of like real life. We're all good and bad, right?
Yeah. I think
There
that
might
you
be-
could be like good but also bad, like
Yeah.
your character, and I'm just like really,
Yeah.
really. I would pray like evil, like super
Yeah.
evil. But you're also really powerful, so you have a dark side too. But you're helping the good guys, like you probably help
Yeah.
protect the Steve the robot.
But then there's that moment where she's talking about Geppetto cooking the books. I'm like, wait, she's sabotaging Geppetto.
Yeah,
Is she-
yeah. So I think we have to.
They're just like turning Geppetto into one of them. Maybe.
turning into a witch?
Yeah.
No.
That'd be another twist.
And
right
another
there.
twist is entered into the
Yeah,
screenplay.
no, I think Geppetto's about the robot. I think Geppetto's about protecting the robot, and kind of like the robot kind of represents kind of like Pinocchio, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he's that
Father figure.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he's the father. That's like his baby, and you too, because you helped create Steve. And how about maybe I try to take the robot away from the print shop, but you guys have to protect it. Like somehow, maybe I try to.
But what
Yeah.
do you want with the robot? Like, how's...
So basically, I still have some powers. Like I'll fly in a broom, but I want my like maybe she has like she had these really deep powers that she lost, and she wants to gain those powers back.
Yeah, it's a trick bag.
It's a trick bag.
And then I'm blaming her. You know, you took my powers away. I blame that is because for you to create the robot, right?
Yeah, and there could be some history of why I took your powers away, like a very interesting.
Okay, maybe I was using my powers to do evil stuff, and you took them away.
So she's a more powerful witch?
She's like a gypsy. Yeah, she took my powers away, but I'm more like I would say evil.
Yeah.
Okay.
You were in a relationship with Geppetto, and you were trying to kill him, and I had to step in because.
A whole nother twist is added again.
No. Yeah, I like what you said though. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
I
good.
think
that's
so.
a good flow. That's a good flow.
I think that's a good flow. Like, and it'll be really cool. Like, if we start off in the print shop, and then like these characters come in, and it's first, you know, it's calm at first, and then I burst in, and I accuse you, and then I fly away, and then I come back. Oh no, you guys are kind of leaving, so
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in here, but you guys like leave the shop because you're like she's gonna come back.
Does smoke come up every time she appears?
It could happen, yeah.
Thick, foggy
Yeah,
smoke.
yeah. I love Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are some of the best witch characters. Okay, so then what happens next? What happens next?
I'll get you my pretty and your little dog too. Okay,
I want to
let's
see
see.
the name of all the characters because he sent them. Let me see here.
Where are the rest of your scripts?
Oh, right here. All of them are. I think I already read every single one in here.
Yeah, I think we're just like brainstorming a little bit. So
So I'm thinking something crazy idea with her character.
with her character.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
let's brainstorm on that.
So I'll be like,
Yeah, but no, we got to think because I'm gonna
Yeah.
come back now. So what could be something crazy that she
okay,
does?
all
'Cause
right,
I'm coming back.
This is as a wildest out of my head right now, because the other day we were talking about how Steve, the robot, goes into walking around grave cemetery, like
Okay.
checking out graves and stuff. Maybe like we could do like two scenes. One where he goes in, just walks around the grave because he want to feel more human, right?
Okay.
And one of the days, he walks around the grave and he sees a bright light around the grave area, but he ignores it and he walks by it, right? And that's where,
Yeah.
and when her character come in, and when her character says that she's in the house and working on magical potions and stuff, and she's always talking about she lives in the cemetery, and Steve does not really know at that point that she does not really know. I mean, Steve does not really know that's her place, and eventually by end of the like little bit of the movie part goes by, Steve somehow walks around that grave again, and he realizes, oh, he remembered one of those days he saw a bright flashlight in the cemetery, and now he realized that's actually her place where she works with her magic.
Well, you're right. And what would be interesting, she was the actress in Ireland, right?
Ireland Light.
If he saw her when he started
When-
tying things in together, he saw her practicing her lines with different famous
Yeah,
people
but-
doing scenes in a cemetery, like scenes from their movies.
Yeah, and then he realizes how this lady has mixed emotion type of a thing. At first she's trying to be nice, and now she's working in a cemetery as a witch, and
Yeah.
he's getting all this brain, like she's going cuckoo in his head, basically.
Right. And
Right.
he sees her doing the different scenes with different characters
Different
who
characters.
she lives with, she considers
yeah.
in Forest Lawn Cemetery.
There we go. Yeah, we could do something like that. What you guys think? You think that's a really good
Or
idea?
somewhere, or some type place.
She does not have really a place, but she actually lives in a cemetery, like slides down one of the coffins or something, and then he
Okay,
sees
I
a
like that
bed.
actually. I really like that.
Yeah.
That one of
And
the
he
like
walks
coffins slides out and
coffins.
it's actually a bed where she sleeps.
Bed or maybe stairs that goes down underneath. And
Okay, I like
And
that.
some maintenance area.
Oh, I like that. I like the stair idea because
Yeah.
actually she can step into some type of like she does like weird potions and
potions
stuff.
and stuff.
And,
And she
Yeah.
made like a little 10 by 10 room or something underneath the stairs inside
I
the
like that.
coffin
I like that idea.
that slides out.
And then
Oh,
Steve the
that is
robot can
cool.
just kind of be curious because he's like he's starting to get
Yeah.
curious about the world and he could be walking around the cemetery and then I think maybe he could catch her going down.
Yeah.
She
and he's
makes
like-
these beautiful wreaths.
But then it gets
Flowers.
closed.
He
So
gets
the
scared.
robot Steve tries to get and right before that he's about to go inside
Yeah.
this coffin, it closes.
It closes.
And then and it kind of gives the audience like, oh shoot, I wonder what she's doing in there. But then we cut to what
Love.
she's doing inside
He feels
there.
uncomfortable and he don't want to be feel like human no more because he think humans are crazy.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
humans are crazy.
I am absolutely adoring this idea.
All right.
I like
Let's
that.
go
You guys
I
for
like
are
that. I really like that.
Amazing. You guys are amazing.
We have to connect everything, though. So the print shop is more about technology,
Yeah.
right? And then you are more about like
Spiritual.
spiritual, and then I would be more like evil, like doing witch kind of stuff,
Trickery.
trickery kind of stuff. Yeah.
Trick bags.
But
Yeah.
you end up becoming good though
At the end.
And okay.
At the end, and I think
Both
maybe
of them.
she ends up becoming evil at the end. So she would be good. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's
yeah.
like good, and she's like southern and good, but then she can
right.
transform into something more evil. And then the audience thinks the whole time I'm the evil one
Yeah,
because I'm the
right.
witch and I'm laughing, and she's trying to help. But at the end, she's really is friends
Right.
with Geppetto and Steve because maybe she
Yeah.
she needs to get close to him so she could
It's like I'm teetering on a precipice the whole time, and then finally, bam.
yeah. Okay, I like that. I like that. What is my character? What do I do next? How do I live the witch house, and how do I come back for you and Geppetto and Steve, and how do I? Maybe I try to take the robot. Like I think that's a good idea. So maybe okay. So we show you doing your thing, right? And then the robot is kind of like around the cemetery, and then kind of goes back to the print shop, and then somehow, but there's going to be other characters, so the story's probably going to cut to some other characters, and then when he cuts back, I come back somehow to get the robot when it's walking again, when it returns to the cemetery because it's curious.
What, to get your powers restored? Through
Yeah, so I can kidnap their most precious possession, which is Steve. And then in return, I'm going to ask for them to really give me my powers back. I'll give you Steve back if I get my powers back.
So what is going to be the kryptonite for
Oh,
Steve?
I got it.
What can she?
I have because like I could be taking Steve with me in the broom and I could be laughing like all evil. Ha ha ha!
Yeah.
I got him. And you guys are freaking out like, no, Steve. And
I
then
can already imagine her on top of a broom and just dragging him down
Yeah.
with one
Yeah.
hand, just turning your broom at the other.
yeah, let's go.
To the salt dome.
Yeah, and then I get to my home, and then I put Steven in like a thing, and then I start to mess with Steven, and I'm like,
She
come
just
on,
basically
Steven, tell
manhandles
me.
the Steve, just throws it up like that, and he's just like, what?
Oh, yeah, and then, yeah, that's funny. And then, like, I take Steven to my bad home, and everyone's like, no, she took Steven, like, what's going on? And I'm trying to get Steven to tell me, like, what they did, because he was there hearing, and I'm like, come on, and I'm
To
trying to get
snitch,
to
Steve.
snitch, but he's not cooperating. So I'm just running around, and I could be singing, I could get neurotic and crazy, and I'm laughing. I'm like, ha ha ha! I finally got the robot. Watch what they were gonna do, and then now you have to come up with something on how to come and get Steve back.
Okay. Yeah.
What could that be? So you guys are freaking out. She took Steve. You could use like maybe what is it called? Those like a glass where there's like you can like move around and it shows
crystal
you
ball?
a crystal ball, and it kind of shows you where Steve is. You could use like a power, be like, show me where he is, show me where he is,
and she sees you,
and she sees me with Steve,
and dragging on top of the roof. Like that, and then she gets so suspicious. She's like, "I'm going to do some potion stuff right now."
Bubbles, toys for trouble. Or I could risk my life by taking these certain mushrooms that will reveal.
Dead.
I haven't done that yet.
Yeah. So okay. So maybe you told them. So then Geppetto and you get ready to go to my house.
Yeah.
But what if somebody goes in as disguise? Or what if you send someone in as disguise? Could be another character that I've never met before.
Right.
Could be somebody roaming around town.
Or it could be Canelita in disguise.
It could be Canelita in disguise. Or you know what? Also, because I feel like witches are also like fall for like the tall and handsome. So what if Jackson comes in and I'm like, ooh, like distracts me, but I'm like, ooh, and I'm like feeling it, and because like I can't think properly, but he's really just there to retrieve Steve. That could be an option, or you could go in disguise, or even the gamer.
And Jackson pulls a gun on you. Yeah, you can pull a gun.
Yeah, that's nothing good. Nothing good. Okay, I left the South to get away from there.
Okay. Then what happens?
What kind of gun? Bubble gun?
Right.
Bubble gun.
Maybe a spiritual gun. Maybe a I don't know, cursed gun or something. I don't know.
I said last time
gun.
use your video game controller as a gun, but
No. I mean, like how I picture they
No,
go.
I-
Water gun.
We
She
can involve
melts.
all the characters in that scene too. Like she could be in the outside of the house, and as soon as Jackson is distracting me, someone could be retrieving Steve.
Oh no! There we go. I mean, like as the whole scenario happened, the whole situation happened, and we only have the gamer guy just in one scene, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So this stuff is happening with you gals right here, right? And I guess like gamer boy, the professional gamer boy, he just like walks around that town, like he just like maybe going to a grocery shop or something, and he sees all of this stuff, and we could probably bring him back into the scene, and he walks up with his gun and he started, like seeing like what's going on, like why are these two girls are fighting over this robot, and he just realizes that hey man, I just saw this robot in the print shop the other day, and now this is what happened to him now, and he feel he wants to go up and save the robot, and sees what you two are doing to this robot and to try to kill him, and he pulls out his gun and started defending him.
So he pulls it out kind of like James Bond style. Like he's
Okay.
very...
Yeah, but how does that track with me trying to get my powers back? So if I'm trying to kill the robot,
Maybe he's just like they're fighting with, maybe Geppetto comes up again, and then the gamer guy and then the Geppetto, they both team up and trying to fight both of you witches and save the robot.
Yeah.
But I thought you were trying to save the robot too, though.
yeah, that's what I mean. We're trying to save the robot. I'm not sure we're trying to kill the robot. Like I wouldn't kill the robot.
You just enjoy toying?
It's more about getting my powers back. Like for me, my powers I think will bring me youth, and that's what she took away from me. Like I think my powers is more about me staying youthful.
Well, you guys are using a robot for your own personal situations,
Yes, opportunist.
opportunities, but Geppetto does not see the robot as being used by a third person. He sees him as his
As
son,
a human, like an actual
Yeah.
person with
as
emotions.
a son, and he used him as a son. He used him as his own personal property, for say, and you guys are using him as to cure your own personal situations.
To meet our own needs.
To make our own.
So that's not fair to Geppetto or the robot.
Because Canelita looks out for Canelita.
Yeah, but I feel like isn't Geppetto more like on the older kind side?
Yeah.
So I don't really see
And
him
he
like.
sees, and Geppetto sees and notices that you guys are playing around with his son to gain his spiritual power.
So Geppetto uses she helps Geppetto. She's the
Yeah.
one that's pretending, but she has her own
All
Ulterior
needs.
motive.
her own needs with
Yeah,
Steve.
with Steve too.
But she's saying, "I'll protect you from this witch."
But
me.
Geppetto does not know that. He thinks that he thinks that both of you guys are saving the robot, but in reality, you guys are using the robot for your own needs.
Yeah.
But Geppetto does not know that. So what I'm thinking, the gamer guy, the professional, whatever, the Jackson guy, comes in, walks around, he notices this, and he runs straight to the copier shop, calls Geppetto up, and he realizes that he says, "Hey, where is Steve?" He says, Geppetto says he's at home doing his business, but the Steve guy comes out, "No, he's not. He's being kidnapped by two of the witches, or both of you guys," and they both run to where Steve saw you taking him, and they start protecting and fighting for Steve to save Steve. So,
Yeah, so I think the whole premise, I
you know?
think we have a good plot right here. So
Yeah.
I think the whole thing it should be about sending in different characters now into the witch house to get Steve back.
Steve back.
So after Jackson, I think he fails, just like
Yeah.
the poison fails.
So like Jackson walks in.
To seduce me, but I see right through it. And right before I discover that he's using me, I turn back to Steve and I can go like, it's like I can try and catch
Yeah.
her trying to grab Steve from the window.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. And like I do some kind of thing and she's like, you know what I mean? And then she's
And
like,
then Steve dies.
Steve can't die. Can't die.
Steve can't
He's
die.
a gamer. No, not Steve. I'm talking about Jackson dies.
Okay, Jackson
fine.
could die. I
Yeah.
could kill Jackson. I
Yeah.
could kill Jackson. And then she takes off.
Yeah.
And then she goes back and she's like, I couldn't retrieve him. We failed again.
Yeah,
Because if
okay.
not, the script will be over.
Right.
So then now, I think now is a great chance for Geppetto to come up with the idea. You can come back in and you could be like, where's Steve?
Where's
and you're
Steve?
like, they kidnapped him. The witch took him.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I have an idea. And then that's when the gamer comes in.
Yeah.
So-
and then he comes, and then maybe he grabs you as well from your real estate property, and they team
Yeah,
up.
they team up. So now it could be real estate and the gamer coming in.
Yeah.
And they can knock on the witch's door, and then what could be the pretense? What could be, are you guys
Yeah.
lost in the woods? Are you guys looking, oh, I see, the real estate could be looking for property.
Yeah.
We need this property, we're looking, are you selling it? It could be something like that. We want to rebuild your home because it's like run down, but it's really the witch's home. And
They're like, no, it's not for sale.
It's
And
not
he's
for
like,
sale.
everything
it's
has a
for
price.
size, yeah.
Everything has a price.
Everything has a price, yeah. And then we gotta
Go from
rank.
there. We don't stand a chance against your powers, though.
Yeah,
Like,
but
what
we
can
need
we
to
do?
save Steve. We can't.
Well, we fight
And
for
she
it.
has powers
We know.
too, so you guys are behind
Okay.
her powers because she's coming up with some of these ideas, and she's
But she's
using-
a good one.
she's
the
like a
one that-
spiritual gypsy with
Yeah.
powers.
Because
I'm
she knows Steve well, and then she knows Geppetto well.
So do I.
So do you.
So
and
maybe
the
I know.
gamer guy.
Maybe I know you kind
Yeah.
of.
So you guys are all teamed up from the print shop. So in the print shop, you guys come up with these ideas,
Yeah.
and then you guys come into the witch house, and I've kidnapped the Steve.
And then you end up knocking on the door saying, "Hey, are you interested in buying the house?" on her door, and then she's like, now at that point, her house looks really normal, and as soon as she does her witch stuff, everything turns into medieval stuff. I don't know, yeah. And
Okay.
all of a sudden, it turns into a normal house. You knock on the door, it's just trying to turn into, saying that you want to sell this house, and.
Okay, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
If the house actually
Transforms,
yeah, and then you're like, whoa, and it's really scary.
Okay.
Okay,
you
but
freak out.
what could you guys be telling me? Like, why? I'm not stupid,
Yeah.
so I'm not just gonna like let another two guys come in after this incident with Jackson. So we got to think outside the box and come up with something.
Yeah, we gotta think
What
about
could you
that
use?
part.
What could you use? Like, what magic powers could you use?
The magic power is gonna be all hers.
Yeah.
We just coming up with guns, knives, and broomsticks, basically, And I mean, like we are we are looking forward at her to fighting for us.
Well,
as
she's
well.
vain and wanting to keep her youth, so kind of hit it at that angle, like, you know about that fountain of youth.
Yeah.
And then really it's some kind of toxic radioactive place.
I see. Okay, so I think that you guys could come in. I like that. And you guys are you guys like one of you guys mentions like the fountain of youth, and I could be like, did somebody say the fountain of youth? And then you guys can like, yeah, it's like located in here, and we've heard that if you drink da 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 da, you can retrieve your youth and you'll never die or never go blah blah blah. This I think is in Pirates of the Caribbean, right? The fountain of youth.
Ponce de Leon discovered it.
yeah.
It's in Florida.
Something like that. We could use something similar.
Florida.
We could use something similar. That there's this hidden location with magical water that when you drink it, you stay young forever. So then this way, I can calm down and you guys can get Steve back. But I will be leaving the robot then at my house. But I'm not gonna leave you men in there. So maybe you guys sneak back in to get the I think I have it. So as you guys come and visit me about real estate, you guys are really just there to look at the home, to give her like clues about how I live and where Steve is located. And then because I probably hide Steve when you guys come. So as soon as one of you guys is like looking through the house, finally catches Steve, but you guys don't say anything, and you guys now know where he is, and then you guys tell me about the Fountain of Youth, and I get all excited and manic, and I'm like, ha ha ha, the Fountain of Youth, and then you guys leave, and you're like, oh, thank you for having us, and we're like, no problem, and then it's not about an attack, it's more about
Like you're giving an open house?
yeah, it's not an
Okay.
attack because we're doing so much with one color. So it's just if everybody comes in to attacks me, it's like no, you got to play the good guy to be on my side to get me. So the da da da, and then they told me about. So then I go to the Fountain of Youth. So I take off again in my broom and I look. When I come out of the house, I look to make sure no one's there. But really, you guys are hiding in the bushes, and I take off to the Fountain of Youth. And you guys, she's like kind of looking at this whole situation. You could be looking at it. What is that called again?
The crystal ball?
The crystal ball. The crystal ball shows her everything. And she's able to tell you guys how to get into the house next. And you guys get in the house, and then you guys are now got Steve. Okay? But it takes you guys a little bit too long. So you can see me coming back after the Fountain of Youth if I drink it, but it's false. There is no Fountain of Youth. So when I drink it, I think I'm like, finally get my powers back, and as I'm about to fly back in the house, you guys are already walking out with Steve the robot, and I come in and I freak out, and I'm like, they got me. So I'm like, they tricked me. There is no Fountain of Youth.
They're like trying to really catch all the flies with honey instead of vinegar.
Yes.
So you don't come after us after we...
Well, I have to now.
Okay, you do
But
come
now
after
I'm
us.
pissed because I come in happy, the Fountain of Youth, and I start to look in the mirror. I'm like, I'm already feeling younger. And wait a minute. Steve. And then I go to where Steve was and I don't see him. So now I'm like, oh, those fuckers got me. And then now we need to come up with the next thing.
To end the scene, right? How do we end the scene? Like,
So now you guys have the robot again. You guys took the robot.
so
back.
that's.
But
how
now
it-
I don't have my powers because it was false again.
And
So
you guys are
tricked
like
me.
giving Steve candy or offering candy. If you come with that, yeah. So you guys have it.
So now-
You've got all these luscious crystal candy. Yeah, you keep hanging with me. You're going to reach that goal of becoming a human boy. You're going to get to have this candy. We've got games. The gamer, we've got games. We've got candy.
Yeah, so maybe the Steve comes back into the print shop and you guys are all happy. Oh, thank God, and you guys have become so much more better friends. The gamer could be showing Steve games and they could be playing games, the robot and the gamer. Real estate guy could be talking to Geppetto and you could be like, thank the Lord, and you're like, it worked. My powers worked. And then that scene could be written and then, oh God, great. And then it dawns on you, wait, she's going to come
The
back.
wit, right. I think we should have the witch banished to another galaxy. Somehow.
Oh, okay, I
Because
like
that's
I like that. We're
that's
bringing
what
the
I do.
sci-fi.
I'm an intergalactic traveler, and I deal with properties.
Yes.
We need to find a way to get rid of her somewhere.
Yeah, you guys
in
need
another-
to get rid of me. You guys need to get rid of me.
Maybe like we could like basically like shoot her down or kill her,
Yeah.
and then
I mean, you could kill her, could banish her.
we know that she's not dead because obviously she's a witch. We definitely know. We know like we have her down for a minute, but we call her up and send her back to a different world to make sure that she does not come back.
Yeah, a galaxy that's like hell.
Yeah.
Like
It's
yeah.
like a cage in the amusement park.
It's
where little
something like
children,
that.
Yeah, little children can buy to look at. It's just torturing
right.
her.
Yes.
So,
Torment.
Okay, so you guys need to trap me then, because to kill a witch is like gonna be really hard.
Hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be hard, but once we get you down for a minute, for like 5 minutes or something, we get you down. We know that it's not that you are still alive for sure.
Yeah, and I think it'd be really cool if also we can end the movie where I do end up in another portal in another universe, and it's like kind of like hell.
That's what she does. Sends you back.
Yeah,
to
that's
another
what she
portal.
sends me back, and I
Yeah.
could be like, I'm coming back. Yeah.
Disney World at Christmas time.
Yeah, so it can be continuous. It can, like, is she coming back? And I can try and get out of that world somehow and come back for Steve. And it
Wait.
could be kind of cool.
You know what you're making me think about though?
Uh-huh.
Originally, the original antagonists who are coming to steal Steve and threaten the print shop, and then all of our characters are supposed to protect the shop from that character. But if you're the antagonist, how do you fit in with that antagonist?
Which antagonist? Which other antagonist?
Remember that they have like someone comes and there's a threat to the shop, and we have to all like protect Geppetto's shop from like those outside forces that are coming to destroy the shop and steal Steve. Like they already had that sort of storyline created.
Oh yeah, because they
originally.
have other characters, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's what I mean. It's like
Or are you part of that gang, or like is this like a different side
so.
bad guy situation?
Well, we can review the character list right here.
Because I forgot it. I haven't looked at it in a while, but it was in the original.
So
like George wanted to
who
keep
is
that.
John Smith, Madison, Steve? Like we know Jackson, Davin.
Davin. That's.
Davin.
I'm gonna write a script for Davin. I'm gonna come up with.
What does he do? Davin is.
He's the real estate guy that. He's the intergalactic traveler.
Okay, so that's you, right?
Yeah.
And then Bruce. Who's Bruce?
Davenport.
I don't know.
His name's Davenport.
Okay, and what does he do in the story? What is his character?
Bruce. I don't know.
No, we don't know.
Bruce and
Okay,
Devin.
so we
and-
know Jackson is the tall and handsome. Steve is the robot.
Yep.
Bosungus. Who's that?
There's a Madison.
Bosungus. Who's that character? What is he doing?
Basungus.
I don't know. I've never
You
really
don't
heard
know.
about that.
There's so many actors who had
That's-
created so many.
Previous episodes
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, but what is his storyline?
I do not.
Do they even have storylines yet? Some of these characters? I don't know.
I don't know.
What about Madison?
She was a Maverick in one episode.
Okay. And then John Smith.
Oh, right. Madison was that two-person scene, that long scene.
What is that? What was that two-person scene about?
It was in the chat. It was between Madison and it was like a girl and a guy, and they had like this long scene between the two of them.
Okay,
in the previous
Cesario.
episode. Haven't heard that name before. Cesario.
Yeah, we got
Okay.
some new names. So I
It's
don't
a
know.
me, Cesario.
Then we have
Cesario.
Canelita, of course. Zion Musk.
Mamma mia.
So that's the thing. We need to first. I
Yeah.
love brainstorming, but we need to make sure that we have all the characters established so that we understand where we're taking the story.
Can you?
Because right now we're kind of just doing the story based on us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on this clipboard.
Canalita.
We got and we got to figure out a way to get those. How that antagonist, the main bad guy scene, is gonna.
Yeah.
And
I
how
mean,
we're gonna
there's-
fit into that,
And
like-
also, like, there's this. I just read for a movie called. I've just read for a movie. Anyways, I don't want to say
Right.
it.
right.
But,
I was about to just see me cut those eyes.
yeah,
I was like,
so
no, don't say
It's
it.
very similar to like Knives Out with all these different characters. It's like 10 characters, and they're all kind of like in a diner trying to figure out who the killer is. So we could add more characters, but each character has to be different because each one was so different. So
That
we have the
sounds
tall
like
and
it.
handsome. There's
Sounds like classic Hitchcock. There was a classic Hitchcock film.
yeah. So we have the gamer. We have the real estate. We have the witch. We have the gypsy. I guess when we meet the other actors.
You know, there's opportunity with these characters, the way it's kind of has the fantasy element to do some just beautiful costume.
Yeah, and also
I'm
there
thinking
really
of
hasn't.
costume makeup.
There hasn't really been a lot of movies about like robots like that recently, right? I don't think so. Or The Witch. Actually, I haven't seen.
Witch and robots together.
Yeah, there's yeah.
I mean, there's like
Megan.
there's like sci-fi
haven't
stuff,
seen
but
Megan
it's
yet.
not really like. You know what I mean? Like an actual
Yeah.
robot.
Which was it, Negan or Megan? The new
Well,
movie
yeah.
that
Well,
came out
Megan
with
was
her.
more about a doll,
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. That's
I
more
can see
yeah.
that.
and it's
Not
horror.
really.
I like the sci-fi element to this, adding sci-fi and like the whole other portal or whatever. Okay, so then maybe more characters come into the print shop, and we can brainstorm on that.
How to bring more characters into the print shop? Is
Yeah,
that
like
what
there's
you mean?
gonna be other characters, right? Because there's other people participating, so they can
Because if we gonna be
Take me to the print.
if we gonna be making a team to get Steve back, you should have a team as well, because you can't fight all.
I think I could fight it alone.
I think it's gonna be a little bit too much. I think you should have a little, like one or two, like sidekicks or something that helps you out.
Well,
throughout
it
the
could turn
process.
into like a hocus pocus thing and have two other witches, but
Yeah, I mean, like
two other females.
you end up introducing, not really introducing, maybe you call in a couple of more
Witches.
witches from your world, and just to fight after realizing there's too many of us, because it's already 5 of us already, and now we are saying that you want to get more people from the print shop and trying to get Steve back, because after you kidnap your over with your broom and we go into your house and try to figure out, and you realize that it's going to be one too many people, because there's 3 of us already coming to your house with real estate undercover thing, just to check out the house, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I have it. So because you guys took Steve back, I realized that okay, maybe I do need help, and I
Yeah.
go to my other 2 witches,
Yeah.
2 other witch friends. I fly to their witch house for somewhere far
I think
away,
you
and I
should
ask
have a team.
and I ask for their help,
Yeah,
and they're like, well, what's in it for me? And I could say eternity and youth,
yeah.
and then
Because you want it so bad what Steve has, and you need help. I think that's what you think. I mean,
Don't witches don't age though, right? Like they don't.
no, they age like in the Hocus
Oh,
Pocus.
yeah.
Remember they were like trying to kill the children. They were sucking
They don't
them in.
die.
I never saw
They
that.
don't die.
Yeah,
They don't
so
die, but they
age.
age. Okay.
They age, yeah, and that's the thing. They don't want to age. For them, it's all about the beauty. And then the Hocus
Yeah,
Pocus
which
is
is-
so good because they're like, and then at first it starts them really ugly, and then when they kill the first girl and they suck her in, they turn around to the camera and they're much more beautiful and youthful.
Bad
So-
witches age at an accelerated rate because of the negativity, and good witches don't age quite so fast.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, exactly. I think
Like the
negative
Wizard of
energy
Oz.
can really do age you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
But the question is, what is it that this robot Steve has that I need? Like it's
I know that's I don't, yeah,
I don't
that's a
think-
really good question.
yeah, I
What-
don't
What
really
does he
thi-
has?
so it's not really
They could produce a special kind of
No,
with
he's
this technology,
mentioned he
this
has the
music.
power of ChatGPT.
okay. So he has the power chat GPT, but that's useful for your characters. I think what it was. I know what it
To
was.
produce
You
music.
produce this amount of energy that because energy is everything. Like
Yeah.
this energy field that helped the robot come to life. You know what I mean? It's like like energy. I think almost equates to like electricity, like power. So with that energy, the Steve was able to come to life. But I'm blaming you that I needed that energy for me to get my powers back. So that's because I can't produce that amount of energy anymore.
Right.
That's the power I lost that I'm blaming that you took from me.
Yes.
And now, I need to produce that same amount of energy for me to have that power back.
And then you're kind of, yeah, and you can kind of There can be kind of like an
Oh, so
underlying
yeah.
ethical
So I
element
think
in this.
because Steve is alive, I could kill him by consuming that energy.
Because
by
toxic people do consume energy, right? So there can be
it's like energy vampires. Yeah.
the underlying moral, ethical lesson. You know, right? She was her own demise. You know, it's never enough. Toxic people, it's never, no matter what you give and give and give, it's never enough.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it could be the toxic not in real life, but I'm saying like the character.
Yeah.
Okay, so then now I have to team up, and you guys are at the shop back with Steve, but you guys have to protect him now.
Right, and so we end up banishing you and your witches.
Right.
And that's how we end
You
that
and your
scene.
witches.
That's how we end
Yeah.
that particular whoop whoop. But that means that you won't be around to deal with those other bad guys who threatened to destroy the shop. Do y'all remember reading that?
I don't remember reading that.
Yeah, you got to go back in the chat.
Oh, I see.
Because initially,
Then you're gonna have to bring her back somehow.
you remember that, George? Like,
It's on the table, printed somewhere.
You'll have to bring her back through your portal. You're like, dang.
So
And
what
just when you
happened?
need
Who
her,
else
you
is
can bring
trying to
her back.
destroy the
because
shop?
originally he had like some other force, like it was like a corporation that wanted to steal Steve, and use him to empower their corporation, and they wanted to destroy the shop. And so initially George wanted every character to fit into that scenario and end up somehow protecting the shop and Steve. So that even though we might have had like some villains, characters who were villains, they still didn't want to destroy the shop. They didn't want to kill Steve or anything. In the end, they were all going to protect.
Maybe it's the corporate. I mean, you know, he owns one shop,
Big evil
and
corporation.
the corporation has multiple shops, and they are thinking about if we steal Steve from this one particular shop, they could make multiple of Steves and have more
Right.
Steves in other locations of theirs.
I like the corporate angle that kind of
Yeah.
ties into, the evil element.
Evil, maybe you know, like maybe you know how Copy Mad is. There's like one Copy Mad location. There's 50 different Copy Mad locations.
Right.
And they found, of course, one Copy Mad location with Steve, and they said, "Hey, we heard there's a robot working here. What we want to do, we give you this X amount of money. We want to make more of Steve's and have them on every single Copy Mad place and make them a trademark for our company." And they're trying to kidnap him at the same time.
Yeah, that makes sense. But how will we get the evil witch to fit into that?
Which
scenario?
never
I think
works out.
maybe I get sent to the other portal with the other wishes, and then you guys like, oh, we're saved, and then that's when the corporation stuff happens.
Nice.
Maybe she is.
So you're not going to be
Entangled.
fighting against the corporation?
No. She maybe she's entangled with the corporation. Maybe she has some connection. with
Oh,
the
okay.
corporation.
I mean,
So
yeah,
that could
I
be-
don't know.
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out
Yeah,
there. You know?
yeah.
Maybe she owns the corporation.
Maybe she owns the corporation. Nobody knows. Ooh, that'd be spooky. That'd be a good
A witch that owns a diabolical
Corporation.
empire?
diabolical empire of a copy
Happens
man.
every day.
You know, she's like, and then she's like, hey, I want to duplicate every single one in every single shop of mine. And she becomes a CFO or CEO of the whole corporation. Maybe
Yeah, but then I
they-
can't be sent to another portal. Like,
Yeah, we
that-
would have to change that part. If-
Yeah.
Maybe she
So that's
has
what I mean,
entangled
it's like-
relationship with the corporation. Maybe there's some type of connection between the corporation and her, and they maybe hired her or she hired. Maybe there's a deal going on between you and the head of corporation.
Right, they used her to get Steve.
That's the
And then we banished her ass.
Yep. There we go.
Yeah,
Something
use
like
her
that.
up and then axe her.
Yeah. Ooh, that sounds.
And then
so
after
sweet.
she's gone, they're just going to move on to the next
Yeah.
strategy.
She doesn't get her retirement with this corporation.
Right.
She gets fired right before retirement
I'm dead.
for someone younger, straight out of college.
I'm dead.
Something like that.
That would never happen, though. That's just too unrealistic.
Yeah, right. The beauty of youth and age.
Yeah, the corporation wants to make a trademark, make him the face for the company. Steve.
What are you thinking?
Steve, that's what you're wanting to be the
I'm
face
thinking,
of the
yeah, I
company
mean-
because it's popular.
It's popular. And that's
Well,
what's gonna make
like
the
Ronald
money.
McDonald.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that that's a good backstory on the witch. Like, she could have been normal and working for this corporation, and they fired her for a younger woman. That's where she started, like, this whole idea about youthful and trying to become as youthful as she can become.
Yeah.
Because every character kind of has a backstory. I'm not exactly sure it makes sense if my character, like, works with them still and it's, like, part of the whole corporation. I think my character is more about the witch, but that is the backstory, you know, how that corporation connects. But I'm kind of vanished. I'm done. I'm out, you know. And then you guys, and then maybe I had this thought, but maybe through the corporation trying to get Steve, you find that I actually had worked for that corporation. Like through paperwork or something, like, oh, you know.
Maybe she used to be a financial.
Yeah, and then
So
they
you
have
both-
a little more empathy.
Not her.
Just you?
Just her.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my backstory.
Yeah.
Like, I used
That's
to be
her
regular. I
backstory.
used to work for, you know, a
Right.
corporation.
Corporation of the copy mat.
The evil
And then they
Yeah.
fired me, and I turned myself into, like, a crazy
Rogue.
witch, and I
Went rogue.
went
Yeah.
rogue and went to this home, and then I do, you know, all this witch stuff. That's kind of where my character.
That makes more sense, I guess.
Maybe you got obsessed. Maybe they had some type of a contract. Maybe you were working and you overheard there's a robot working in a copy mess, and you want that robot to be in a different locations. Maybe you got unsuccessful of doing that deal for the corporation, and then you got fired, and then you got obsessed with him.
Yeah, but I got obsessed with the robot, and that's
Yeah.
how I found out. And then once they finished the robot, Steve, that's when I come bursting in into that scene and says, "You took my power.
You took my job away too.
So I mean, that could work.
Yeah.
That could work.
Oh, that works so good.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of, like, the writer's journey? I think there's, like, a way to, like, also, like, break down the scenes before actually putting everything into Celtics.
I have not heard of the writer's journey. Can you go into that a minute?
Yeah, so basically it's like a little palette that kind of shows you it's like the hero's journey. So I'll kind of, like, pull it up right now.
Oh yeah, thank you for diving deeper
The
into
hero's journey, like there's a conflict, a fall from grace, then he comes and redeems himself, or
Yeah, so this is kind of like what whatever writer should, you know, what they say. So so basically, you know, there's a call, you know, there's a refusal to the call, there's a supernatural mentor, you know. So I'm thinking the mentor is how do you pronounce his name? Geppetto. So he's kind of like the older mentor.
wiser.
Wiser.
Yeah.
Wiser. So the call could be Steve. The call is to create Steve, right? And then crossing the threshold, like crossing to the other world. And then there's new allies and enemies. So once you cross the threshold. So crossing the threshold would be you guys crossing from the print shop into my witch house. That's crossing the threshold. Then there's new allies and enemies. So I would get my allies, which is the witches, the ally and the enemies.
Right.
And then you guys are kind of allied together. So there's that part of the story. And then there's the ordeal. So the ordeal is in the middle of the story, which the ordeal is where we discuss that, you know, I'm trying to take power of Steve, and you guys are trying to protect Steve, and, you know, there's all these different powers that are trying to take Steve, you know, the corporation and me, and, you know, Steve really is just a power. Then there's then it says here the death of the mentor. I mean, that doesn't have to always happen. The mentor doesn't have to always die. That could be an option. It says battle with brother, then there's temptation, and then there's always road back. So the way back, and then there's a little bit of resistance and refusal, and then at the end, the masters of two worlds. There's different versions of the hero's journey, but that's basically, hold on. Let me write the writer's journey.
This certainly is a role I can lean into, no matter which angle that we go. Definitely with this character, and I think you guys have a character that's like that as well. You know, everyone's got their own agenda.
Yep. There's let me kind of see here. Yeah, this is really, really good for for writing. Yeah. Okay.
So really, there's Chat GPT. There's Writer's Journey. What's something else you guys use?
I usually use Syntax.
Celtics. Yeah. Celtics.
I had experience with that when I used. Actually, matter of fact, I wrote that down with it.
All right.
Okay. So I found another one.
This
So
script right here.
Cool.
This one is written by that. This is what I wrote.
yeah.
Oh, I use Final Draft.
Final draft.
But
Okay.
there's another free one called Studio Binder, which I'm learning.
Oh,
But,
Studio Binder. Yeah. I think
like
I've
that.
done a call sheet on that.
Yeah, it's free.
Interesting.
It has like
Yeah.
different.
Interesting.
It's free, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Chat
It must be free now.
GPT, Writer's Journey,
Yeah.
Celtic, Studio Binder,
Yeah.
Final Draft. Okay.
It's done so.
So yeah, it usually starts the call to adventure. You know.
I never used a chatbot. I didn't even know until
Right.
What, the Chat GPT?
Yeah. So I actually learned about it.
I didn't even never heard
I
about
looked at it last night just so I knew something when I came here today. But yeah.
So actually,
it's
I'm a
crazy.
personal trainer, and I train like producers and people that are in the industry, and that's how I first learned about the Chat GPT.
it. Yeah.
In one of my sessions, he's like written before, and I'm like trying to like get him to help me with my script. I'm like,
Yeah.
have you read it? Yeah. Have you seen the pitch deck? And he's like, listen, like most people really don't care for passion projects. It's really just they're trying to do remakes of the stuff that makes money. They're going to Safeway.
That's why Hollywood kind of sucks now.
It sucks.
They need to stop that.
It sucks. They're doing no originally screenplays, and they're just playing the safe way, and they're just doing the same thing over and over,
Yep.
basically, and it's boring. So, I was like, listen, I have this passion project, so. And he has his own passion projects, and he was like, "Oh yeah, so I was kind of using Chat GPT. It's really cool, and it comes up with dialogue for you." And I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool." And
High
yeah.
school students are using it to write research papers. So
Yeah.
that's a heads
Really?
up, teachers.
Yeah, so I think that we could use the Chat GPT to come up with different scene scenarios, but actually it gives you like a regenerate. So because the script can take you in different directions. So I was writing my sci-fi film yesterday, and I was like, okay, write me the scene, and it could take the surgeon to go do something, or it can take the surgeon somewhere else. There's different ways that the story can go. That's why it's a little confusing, because I know there's other characters and like, wait, this story's going this way, and
Yeah.
this story's going that way. So I think after establishing the characters, we should do a writer's journey outline, you know, and then after the outline, that's when the Celtics comes out, and we can start the writing process.
How do you two feel about that?
Well, yeah, I'm all for that because we're definitely not ready to write yet. So we gotta like tie
and
it
I
down.
think that without the outline, there's really it will give us an organization of what will be the arc of the story, and then the conclusion, and then we can start to fill it in.
Right, and how everyone fits into the grand scheme of things.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we've got a lot accomplished today. Are we ready to
Yeah.
sign off?
Yeah, I think we got a lot accomplished.
It's been
Yeah.
2 hours at
Yeah.
least,
Let's
something like that.
So we're all sci-fi fans, right? So
I-
how we're gonna sign off? We're gonna beam me up, Scotty, or
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys all love sci-fi too?
I like Star Wars, not so big into Star Trek.
not so big into Star
I see.
Trek.
I do
I'm
like
like
sci-fi, though.
50-50. Like, there's some really good sci-fi, and then there's some I'm like, ugh. There's really
Sign
no
off.
sci-
We will.
So that's all for today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Accomplished much we have.
Yeah. We have accomplished so
Jurassic
much.
Park is sci-fi, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it's
Is it?
Yeah.
I just watched
well,
the new
that's
one.
kind
That's
of-
like adventure.
really-
I love adventure sci-fi.
That
The
could really
combination of the
happen.
two,
Yeah.
really.
That new Jurassic Park was good. It's like my second favorite of all the Jurassic Parks. The new
Really?
one, because they
What
brought back Laura Dern and everyone.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
really.
Oh, yeah,
it was
the
good.
When
one,
did
yeah.
that
It's good.
come out? Do
Yeah.
tell, do tell. When?
It came out in 2022.
Yeah.
Okay.
last year,
Okay. So,
Are you talking
I've
about the
gotta
Jurassic
catch
Park
that.
extension?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what's
the-
it called? Dominion.
Dominion, yeah.
Dominion?
Yeah.
I'm talking about an extension.
I like the first and the third.
Oh,
from
yeah.
the original
I don't
Steven
remember the third.
Spielberg. So good. I personally think when the dinosaurs were like created, like it looks more real than the CGI. I personally, and the actors are able because they actually
Yeah.
did the dinosaurs, so you can react to it, and I felt like it was.
Yeah,
more.
Jurassic Park was really scary to me, but I'm one that still has not gotten over gremlins. I saw that in third grade.
Gremlins.
They get wet. They turn into totally different creatures. I'm not over it yet.
Yeah.
I love Gremlins. And then Gremlins 2 with the female gremlin.
I mean,
that
that's
looked like a prostitute. The prostitute gremlin.
You try to love them unconditionally, but there's too many conditions. You can't get wet.
So, but I really liked the plot. Like when he first wrote it in the WhatsApp, I'm like, that's a really good idea about the robot. And then I knew I needed to add some witch in there because I'm like, they haven't done a really cool witch character in a while.
Yeah, you can really make her just cool. I would have, you could tell you what kind of music she listens to, what kinds of food she like. I mean, just really go out there with it. She's just, I'm in love with her already. I like that character.
Yeah,
She's
I like
cool.
her,
She's
yeah.
cool.
Okay, so I think we're good. I think,
We're good.
Is someone going to read us out? Do an outro?
Where's the outro?
Just make it up. Improv it, I guess. I don't know.
So I guess like that's all for today.
There you go. There you
Make
go.
a like a high, make a hiney ho.
Make a like a chai, make a
Tiny
chai.
ho.
funny. Woo, those headphones.
That was fun, y'all.
That was fun.
Thank you.
All right, IP. So many different scenarios.
At least it's shaping up more because we did the first episode. It was just like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, we didn't even know at that time what the heck we were getting into. What's the time right now? Oh, it's
Almost 2.5 hours.
yeah.